Were y'all happy with the decisions that were made on wedding day? On season 6 of Love is Blind. Y'all, let's talk about it. First of all, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. This video, like I said, we are talking Netflix show Love is Blind. This is season 6, episode 12. Okay, it was titled Meet Me at the Altar, like that Jagged Edge song. Okay, meet me at the altar in your white dress. I ain't a singer, y'all. Anyway, before we get into it, do not forget to hit that thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post bell notifications. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of these decisions. And share the video where y'all share your videos. Okay, so let's get into it. So, um, I'ma say this episode was good. I would give it a high rating if I had to rate it. You know what? I'm not mad at the decisions made on wedding day, to be honest. I'm not mad. I knew Amy and Johnny were gonna say yes. I did not expect Chelsea and Jimmy not to make it to the altar. I swore I saw Chelsea in the wedding day previews. I swore I saw her. Let me see how this light gonna look, y'all. Oh, that's way bright. Do that. I think that I can manage that one. All right. Anyway, also, if this light annoy me, y'all, I'm gonna turn it off because, what was I gonna say? Clay and AD, I'm not mad at it. I'd rather him not play her face in a marriage. I just rather him not, you know, like don't even waste our time, right? Don't even waste our time. Let's get into the episode. So the episode basically picks up where they left off with Jimmy and Chelsea at the amusement park, and Jimmy asking Chelsea, like, I don't even know where you stand with everything. Like, what's up for real? Like, do you think we gonna make it? What are you feeling like? So, they did that long dramatic pause, but we already knew that Chelsea was going to say, I want to get married. Okay. She wants to meet him at the altar in her white dress. So anyway, so she was like, we went through so much and we've had a lot of bumps in the road and this and that. And what we went through yesterday was very scary and blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, yes, I do want to marry you. Yes, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to meet you at the altar in my white dress. And so he was like, everything we've been through is hard, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to get married. I was like, what? It was like, I was like, Jimmy, come again. Jimmy, come again. And he was like, nope, I'm not going to the altar. Nope. Not getting married. Nope. And she was like, wait, what? Like, what changed your mind? He was like, everything we went through, everything we've been through, ever since we had that one fight, I just feel like we haven't really recovered. And plus, I told you about my friend in secrecy, and you over here turning it on, telling it all on camera, and you're violating her trust. Like, I brought her on the show, and you doing all this. So she was like, because she was like, well, she was sitting there in silence. She was shocked, and so was I. Okay, so she was like, so why did you do all this? Why did you even propose? And he was like, I wanted to make it work. I wanted to try, but this has happened and it's been difficult. And she's also because you wanted to keep your little secret and not tell your shame, and you want to keep your reputation, all that. So that's why you didn't want me to say anything, to keep you and your friend's secret and all this. So she keeps spilling the tea about the friend, because we know now that Jimmy has all them friends, all them friend girls that Jimmy introduced Chelsea to down to the table for the lunch or the dinner, whatever they had. He slept with one of them, and he made kikiing with one of them and hanging out down to the bars with one of them. So Chelsea keeps spilling the tea on that over and over. And he's like, I told you that in confidence. And he's like, oh, she's just like, oh, I don't care about, spilling your little secret. He was like, okay, so you keep doing that. You're going to just keep throwing that in my face. He's like, see, that's why I'm not trying to marry you. And so they was just going back and forth back. And I was like, dang, I did not expect this left turn, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, I did not expect that left turn. Let me know in the comments. Did you expect that left turn? I just knew Jimmy was gonna stick it all the way out to that wedding, because Jimmy been sticking this out. Hate or love Jimmy, Jimmy been sticking this out. Okay, I had to push that light back. Jimmy been sticking this out. Okay, he made his bed, he laying in it. Okay, So hopefully we'll find out more at the reunion, like what's really going on with that, what's the tea. But he was like, nope, he ain't getting married. She was thrown for a loop. She kept trying to throw the whole friend thing in her face, in his face, and saying like, "Oh, because you slept with her, da, 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 you don't want me to say anything." And he's like, "Okay, but you hanging out with your friend, that's a guy, and you be spending time with him. So what's the difference?" And so he said, as soon as we got back from the pods, that's the first person you FaceTime. She's like, it's not the same. It's not the same. I was like, what's really going on? So, needless to say, Jimmy and Chelsea are wrapped. They will not be going down to the altar. Okay. So the only two couples we're left with now are AD and Clay, and at this point, and Johnny and Amy, right? So we do see everybody do their bachelor party, bachelorette parties. Bachelor party looked whack. I mean, they had no strippers. Not that we need strippers, but I mean, they're just hanging out. They had some shirts that said, "I'm the groom for Johnny and AD." I mean, Johnny and Clay. I always want to call Clay AD for some reason. And then his groomsmen did the little toast where it's like, "I'm not above you. I'm not below you. I'm right beside you." Whatever that little toast they do, I want to remember that because I want to do that. That's cute. So anyway, Johnny and AD are happy that they made it to this part together because I think they were really close in the pods, right? They were like, we wonder what the women was doing, and they both said Amy and AD was dressed with they like hot girl pants on. Like it was like what they about to be doing. The girls was just dancing. They didn't have no male strippers or nothing. They was just all dancing, having a good time. Why they have a cutout face of Clay's face? Lady, I guess she was doing her little cheer moves, her little dance moves. She was getting it. She can't wait to be Mrs. whatever Clay's last name is. Girl, you ain't about to be it though. So Amy and AD was talking. They were talking, and so I guess Amy was sharing with AD how her and Johnny haven't had sex yet because Johnny don't want to get nobody pregnant. I don't know why he can't use a condom. I'm kind of tired of this conversation. So she's like, AD, girl, no, like, girl, we ain't even had sex yet. Johnny wants to be careful. He doesn't want to get me pregnant. He's not ready to have kids. But, we have a good time, girl. Yeah, we have a good time. So AD, her question was like, girl, because AD was telling her in the moment, like, girl, you gonna buy a car? You ain't even test drove? Like, girl, nah. So then AD was telling the camera, like, I'll do that girl lying. She lying as feisty as Amy is. No, she lied. She was like, nah, Johnny breaking her bag, like they getting it in, like that ain't it. So AD doesn't buy that they haven't had sex. A part of me felt that way when they were on the DR trip because Amy kept her mouth shut. Right, every time the girls would talk about sex, she would walk away or keep her mouth shut. So I don't know. Part of me felt like they just wanted to make it a secret, and maybe they came up with that. But maybe they really not, because but it just don't make sense. Because Johnny just used a condom. Like I'm tired of it. Anyway, enough of the Bachelor and the Bachelorette. Now let's go down to these weddings. So we gonna, of course, talk about AD and Clay first, okay? And then we'll end on a happy note with the other one. So let me tell y'all, this whole wedding scene was so real to me, y'all. I feel like I was at the wedding. I feel like I was getting married. I feel like I was going down to the wedding. I was on pins and needles the whole time. My nerves was bad, y'all. They was real bad, right? So, AD gets her little wedding suite. Clay gets to his. AD is just real happy. I was sick of that squill thing she does. She was very pretty in her dress. I like the high split, girl. You look good. Now on shade online on the shade room, they said that was a Fashion Nova wedding dress. I don't know. Okay. But you look good, girl. Your hair was on point. You was looking good, girl. So, her mom came in and, her sisters are there and they tell my AD gonna be a good daddy. The mom got to meet Clay's dad and she said, I had a good time with her. She's like, is she good people? And she was like, yes. And, so the mom really likes Clay. She likes Clay's family and all that good stuff. Instead of families talking, AD says she's one of 7 siblings and she's the first to get married. I don't know if she has brothers. I know she has sisters though. And her mom gave her the grandma's ring or something they passed down to her. Anyway, she also AD wore a necklace that Clay had gave her. So now let's talk about Clay, because Clay's family was such a big part of this wedding scene for me, and it kind of tied everything together for me personally, right? So Clay's dad finally came. So we finally get to meet infamous player daddy. I don't remember his name. It's irrelevant. So he comes into the groom suite and he helps Clay put on his jacket and tells him to hold his arms. I love seeing father in some moments like that, y'all. So um Clay was just so impressed with how his dad was dressed. And I don't know, it was weird to me. Was it weird to y'all the way he was like, "Oh, dad, you looking so good, dad. Look at you. You coming through like, dang, you looking better than me." Like, no, he don't look better than you on your wedding day. No. Um, and in the way Clay's dad was saying how, I used to run track and field, and I was a, all American. I was on the Olympics. I almost did this and that, but I sprained my ankle or did whatever he did, and he had an injury, so he couldn't run no more. And so he's like, I was really great. And part of me was like, this is Clay's day. Like, what does this got to do with Clay? Like, you really big up in yourself. So then um he told Clay, like, remember when you used to beat, race and I would always beat you. And then he's like, remember when you first time you finally beat me? And Clay was like, yeah, I thought, maybe you were just getting too old and out of shape or something. And so Clay's dad was like, no, I wasn't out of shape. He was like, you just finally beat me. And he said, really, to be honest, son, like, I've been just living my life vicariously through you. Like, you're amazing. You're awesome. I'm going to tell you how great you are. And I'm like, no, you do need to tell him how great he is. And so he said, like, son, I didn't have the best role model growing up. My dad wasn't really around. I didn't really have a male figure there. Like, my grandma was more so there, but my dad, he would kind of be there, but not really. And he said his grandma told him two things to be good to his kids and to his woman or something like that. And so he's like, and I didn't need to be good to my kids part. I did that naturally. I said, what about your woman? Because you didn't treat that lady right. So it sounds like dad blames a lot of his upbringing, a lot of his current behavior on his dad, and Clay definitely emulates that. And you could tell that Clay just thinks the world of his dad. Like, you could tell his dad is his hero to him, flaws and all, right? So the dad said, I'm proud of you. And he said, because Clay's just like, I'm really scared, I don't know. And then his dad is like, no fear, we're not gonna have fear. You're gonna be okay. He's like, you can't, you won't. He was saying all these little like little quotes, like, if you think you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail, like, it's all in your state of mind. I mean, he was telling him the right stuff, the good stuff. I think the dad gives to Clay what he has to give, which is not a lot. Okay. Um, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I think Clay's dad literally did the best he could, and he probably needs a lot of healing and help himself. And he don't have a lot for himself. So therefore he don't have a lot to give to Clay. Right. So when they were getting ready to walk down the aisle, Clay and his mom, and they had Clay's name up there, and his mom was saying she had the grandma's ring because she wanted grandma to be part of it. And so he was like, oh, you surprised to see my name up there? And she's like, yeah, it looks good. And she told him, like, whatever decision you make, I'm right behind you. I'm sticking beside you. Like, it's okay. I'm with you. And then he was like, oh, thank you, mom. Always been a mama's boy. She's like, yes, you have. And so I don't know. I don't take him as a mama's boy. I feel like he's more of his dad's boy, but I don't know. The mom had the attitude and demeanor to me like she knew, like, she already knew that her son was not about to go through it. Like, I felt the feeling from Miss Rita, her name was Rita, that she knew Clay was finna mess it up. I just felt that, like, she knew. Her whole attitude, her demeanor was like, I already know what he about to do. I already know what he about to say. Probably because she knew that daddy, and he's just like the daddy. Now, when Clay was getting ready, he had some brothers come in there along with the groomsmen. Now, the groomsmen we had seen before, but them brothers we didn't meet. And I said, Clay, where you get them brothers from? Because I thought he only had the sister. And the dad said something about, your brothers, and he named the sister's name. So I was like, I didn't know Clay had them brothers. They was looking good. His friends and his brothers look good. I said, hey, anyway, holla at your girl. So, the mom walked him down the aisle, and then you could tell he was like very anxious and nervous. AD walked down the aisle. I felt bad because AD didn't have her dad to walk down the aisle. I wish somebody could have, like, stood in the gap for her. Like some kind of, maybe one of Clay's brothers or something. I don't know. Anyway, so Clay AD is like, oh my God, you look so good. You look so good. You look so good. And he was like, yeah, you look good, baby. You look good. They do it all day, stuff they do. And so, the somebody, I don't know if it was his mom or her mom, kept saying, "You're okay. Oh, you're okay. You work for this. You work for this." I think it was her mom. So, because you could just tell they were both so overwhelmed, right? So, the pastor says, time to really decide, do you take this hand in marriage to prove to the world that love really is blind? AD says, I do. Clay's turn. When Clay starts giving, a speech, AD, I've grown to love you, blah, blah, blah. I said, he about to say no. He about to say no. And Clay said no. He said he couldn't be, fair to him or her and say yes, that, he couldn't give her a marriage. And so he said, then he's telling her, but why does the date matter, AD? Like, I'm still gonna be right here. And she's like, Clay, don't do that. Don't do that. Because it does matter. Like, why you go on the show and go through the process if it don't matter? It don't matter. It matters, or there's no point to do it. You could just get married anytime you want. Like, what are you saying? And so he was like, no, I couldn't be fair to you. I still got some healing and work I need to do. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So then AD's mom was like, okay, are we done? So she gathered her daughter and the rest of her daughters, and they got out of there. Miss Rita stopped AD and told her, you're beautiful, like, you're okay. And so then AD's Clay's mom and dad were talking to him and saying, like, it's okay, son, like, it's okay, like, we stand by you. The dad said, I loved you when you're born, I still love you, it's okay. So, AD is back there talking with her family, and she's like, I just feel like she just feels like she's not enough. And I'm like, AD, you're more than enough. This is his stuff, girl. And I hope AD knows this and hears this. Somebody has poured this into her by now, I'm sure. You are enough. Him not choosing you, AD, that has nothing to do with you being enough or not. He is not enough for himself, and he needs to work on himself. But his issues are not your issues, girl. You are more than enough, and you will find a man who's going to love you for you and all of you and be emotionally available and ready. Because I already know Clay is not emotionally available. That's why he kept prepping us to tell us he was going to mess up, right? So, Clay's mom talked to him and his sister, and she said, I want you to hear me and hear me clearly when I say this. You do not need to make a decision just to basically make a decision, is what she was saying. Like, you don't need to like hurry up and do something now just to do it. Like, if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. Like, you basically tell him, like, you don't need to just rush into marriage. Like, it shouldn't be taken lightly. It's very, very serious, right? So back inside, AD's family is just like, girl, he wasn't the one for you. AD's just feels like she did all this for nothing. She's like, what was the point? She's tired of all this. So Clay, he goes in there to talk to her. He's like, I'm sorry, AD. I hate to see you crying like this. I'm so sorry. Now, when he was in there talking to AD and they were hugging, and she was like, why would you do this? He's like, AD, I couldn't be, I need to work on myself. Like, I'm not going nowhere. Like, are you gonna have to run away to get away from me? Like, I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna work on myself and be ready for you and all this stuff. And that moment when he was back there with her was the most confident I ever heard him sound and sure himself. And I said, oh yeah, he play all day. But I'd rather him say no in this moment than play with her in her face during the marriage. I'd rather him. I'm not even mad at the no. I'll take it. I'm not even mad at it at this point. I wish he wouldn't have wasted her time at this point, but at least it didn't go any further, right? And she deserves better. She said he's talking about, he still wants to date her and be with her, and they work towards marriage. She says she's not going to continue to date him after this, and I don't blame her. Do not let him go to therapy, get together, figure it out on his own. I'm glad that he feel like he grew so much from this 2 weeks or however many weeks the process is. Or was it 4 weeks? I think it's 4 weeks. But at the end of the day, you need to go and do your healing by yourself, Clay. And AD, you don't need to be waiting on him, girl. Like, it's a wrap. Now, to me, like, they was about to have sex the way he was kissing and hugging on her, like, dang, like, oh. I was like, what y'all about to do? But AD is devastated, of course. I don't blame her. And Clay just feels so bad. He's like, man, I hate to see you crying like this. He said he feels stupid, in the end. Now, the scene that was the best to me of all of this part and the realest moment I think we've ever really seen on Love is Blind thus far, y'all, is that scene with Miss Rita and Clay's dad, Clay's parents, right? So Clay's mom went up to his dad and said, he's carrying a lot of baggage and stuff from our marriage. We were together 20 something years and you were not good to me during that time. You cheated on me. And he is looking at that. And, sometimes kids see things that your parents do. And as an adult, you're thinking, like, okay, he's basically thinking, okay, is marriage for real or is marriage something serious? Because he saw what the dad did, which makes sense to me. And so um she said, I've forgiven you for everything you've done, and that's okay, but you need to have a talk with him and clear some stuff up with him, which he definitely needs to do that. Mama's so on point with that one. So the dad then starts crying. I said, hey, old Clay got that honest, don't he? And he's like, Rita, I loved you and I didn't have the best example growing up. My father wasn't really around. She said, listen, I've already forgiven you for all that. I already know. I've already accepted all that. It's okay. She said, but during this process, he told me about some things. Some things came out that hurt me and some things I didn't know. Okay. So meaning, remember how Clay kept saying his dad would take him on his little trips when he would go cheat and mess around with other women and he would be there. And Clay kept saying, my mom still don't know about this to this day. So now obviously we're in the process. So she's finding out. So she just found out on Netflix's Love is Blind that daddy was taking that son on all his little cheating excursions. That's horrible and hurtful. So horrible and hurtful. And I can relate to that story so well, y'all. Anyway, so she said, I'm just finding these things out and they are really hurtful. And she was like, you need to have a conversation with him. She's like, I already forgiven you and it's fine, but we need to have a conversation about that. And so she was like, we dead in it right here, but you need to have a conversation with him. And so I could tell Miss Rita hurt. Oh, it was like she was hurt all over again. But that was real. Clay's mom was the MVP of this whole episode for me. She said it right. Everything she said was on point. She said the kids be taking our BS on. And Clay took so much of his dad's BS on. That's what happened. And I think he doesn't want to, when he thinks about marriage, he has to think about the negative sides of his dad. And I think that also is causing the commitment issues and the hurt. But again, he's taking his dad's stuff and putting it on him. And he just needs to go get some help and stop lying. Go get some help. Anyway, then moving on. This video ain't really even that long, y'all. Because episode, it was good, but it was very straight to the point, right? So we don't even need to drag it out. Then we had Amy and Johnny. And it ended well. They both said yes. We already knew that was gonna happen. And I'm turning this light off, y'all, because it's just too much. And I will say Amy's dad, he was awesome. Like he said, I have more daughters now, talking about Johnny's sisters, and Johnny's mom and dad was pouring into Johnny, and Amy's dad was pouring into her, and Amy's dad was just so happy. And he said, we're family now. And he said, after I seen Johnny and I met his family, I just instantly knew. And you could just feel the love between the two families. Like he instantly welcomed and said he loved Johnny's family. It just felt so genuine and real. Like, now this felt really meant to be, right? Yeah, but see, the thing for me though is Amy kept saying, oh, my dad's not gonna go for this, and my parents get involved. And I was like, okay, girl, you must have been picking horrible people, because your dad and your mom are fine with Love is Blind. He said he didn't like wasn't sure about the process at first, but when he met Johnny, he was fine. But Amy was like, oh, my dad's not gonna like this. He's not gonna go for this. And her dad was so easygoing. So I'm wondering, was her dad that like harsh as she thought he was going to be, or was she using that as a way out of the situation with Johnny? I don't know. Or, maybe he did just have a change of heart that quick. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. But congratulations to Amy and Johnny. They're the only couple we'll have. Next week is the reunion, y'all. So meet me back here for that. We may go live for the reunion. I will let y'all know by next week for sure. But yeah, this episode was good. Let me know what y'all think about Chelsea and Jimmy. Let me know what you think about Clay and AD. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I will come back tonight, most likely for the Married at First Sight review for this week. They had their decision day as well. I said, oh, we had one decision day to the next, and they both were crazy. Married at First Sight. I don't even know what they had going on over there. Anyway, y'all, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will talk to y'all again soon.